We think of him every day. We miss him every day.
If ever there was a couple that knew how to adapt to the changing world we find ourselves living in, it's George and Carolyn Spaulding. Their world changed forever 3 years ago.
It's befuddling, to say the least.
On June 12, 2017, the Spaulding son, Brian, was found dead inside his home near Irving Park in northeast Portland.
Worst day of my life.
It was George and Carolyn who made the discovery. They say Brian was shot to death.
It was not a drive-by shooting. This didn't come through a window or a wall. It wasn't random. This was purposeful. Somebody did this on purpose.
But who? It's a question that haunts the Spauldings more often than not.
It could have been somebody he knew. And I myself put it off to a sketchy friend of a sketchy friend of a sketchy friend.
As if not knowing who pulled the trigger wasn't bad enough. In the months leading up to this third anniversary of Brian's murder, George was diagnosed with prostate cancer and Carolyn with multiple myeloma.
Triple whammy. Lose Brian. And I get this, and then she gets that. It's like, what? What is happening? I don't know.
The Spauldings can't help but fear they may never find out who killed their son.
I do have my religion that I fall back on. I believe in the resurrection, so I believe that someday I will get to see him again.
Until then, the Spauldings continue to hope for justice for Brian and ultimately closure.
The bottom line is that there is one person out there that knows exactly why this terrible thing happened to Brian. And that's the person that pulled the trigger. And it's reasonable to assume that there's at least one other person out there that knows that person and knows they did it or suspects that they did it.
Crime Stoppers will typically offer a $2,500 reward for information that leads to an arrest and conviction. This case is no different. But in addition to that, family and friends have raised $20,000. So now, more than $22,000 is available to the person who leads police to Brian Spaulding's killer. In Portland, I'm Mike Benner for KGW News.